We're back. Got a good rant for you today. Here we go. There we go. JNR's got it. Oh, pardon me, total. So we're over here at the Denny's Flying J Shell truck stop. I'm already annoyed. We're in Headingley, Manitoba, back close to our old neighborhood. Me and old Maxie here. Just rolled in. I'm already annoyed. Old man annoyed. Good morning, good afternoon, Jody. Yeah, it's afternoon where you are. I had a lovely drive from Calgary to here. Took a nice stop somewhere in the middle of Saskatchewan, or no, just west of the Canadian or Manitoba border. And I shot this short as I was coming through Headingley. They're still working on that darned weigh scale. I haven't uploaded it yet. It's on my other phone. I'll probably upload that while I'm streaming this. We'll sit and rant for a while, but here we got, okay, this truck stop is, I don't know, 15, 20 years old. It's fairly new. I see they built a new Costco across the highway there. And all this highway, this was under construction for, I don't know how long. It seemed like forever. But there's no turning lane to get into the truck stop. So this is the eastbound traffic coming from the west into Winnipeg. And as a truck driver, I can relate to these guys. You've been on the road, you're just thinking about getting fuel, getting in the shower, or getting in your bunk. And there's no turning lane to make your right turn at this major intersection. So then you'll have trucks like, see if this guy wants to turn in, sitting at the red light here, and then guys and gals invariably use the shoulder to turn into the truck stops. Like, is there no room here to put in a turning lane? This is just an example of how idiotic our local planners are. I don't know if to blame the politicians or the planners, but that just seems totally stupid. Hey Brandon, good to see you. Live long and tweak. Where are we? We're at the Flying Hook here in Headingley, Manitoba. Just rolled in. Bathroom breaks for everybody here. Namely me and Max. But yeah, I just had to pop off a little bit. It's like just how lame Winnipeg is. Yeah. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So this is brand new infrastructure, and they couldn't put in a quarter mile of turning lanes to get into the truck stop parking lot here. It's nonsensical. What do we pay these people money for? Well, I know, because they got the best scam around going, that's why. But yeah, I gotta upload this short as I was passing by this newfangled weigh scale, which doesn't do anything to promote motoring safety on the roads, in my opinion. This is after decades of observation. Come on, inside. Let's go. There's treats inside. For real. Yeah. He doesn't believe me. Come on. You want treats? Come on, inside. Alright, he's been cooped up in the truck a little too long. It is absolutely hilarious how poorly everything is designed here in Winnipeg. Yeah, maybe it's just me. I'm just being grumpy. Maybe I shouldn't even care about it. We're getting the truck so we can have a smoke. Don't you want to smoke, Max? Come on. Let's go smoke. Dad's ready for a smoke. Come on, inside. Up. You want to sit under the truck? I'm going to tie you up out here. He just wants to. Studying engineering. Well, engineering can be a good, noble pursuit. But it's like all that truck traffic stacks up. Let's go back there. Just so it further make my point. So all this, not all this, but potentially you'd have truck traffic. It's chilly. My fingers are a little chilly. So you'll have a row of trucks. Where's my finger? Stretching down the highway there. Sitting at a red light. And then all those trucks, whoa, that's extreme close up. All those trucks will have to get out of the way for the people that are just through traffic to carry on their merry way. Whereas if you had, a quarter mile of a turning lane to get into this driveway, you'd have better flow of traffic. I mean, if your son can become a city planner that uses common sense, I guess as an entry-level planner, I mean, you probably don't end up having a lot of say. I mean, at least they put in a left-hand turning lane for the westbound traffic. And these trucks are turning at that light. But if you had 4 or 5 trucks all waiting to make this right-hand turn, like you're just unnecessarily delaying the flow of traffic. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. To me, anyway. I mean, if I were in charge, come on. If I were in charge, none of you would be here. Come on. Hey. Come on, up. Let's go. Max. Inside. Up. Come on. Let's see if you... Go on. Treats. Yeah, there's treats in there. You know it. There's some nice pork treats. Come on. Yeah, good boy. Only took 10 minutes. We got treats in this box. See, look at this. He knows what this box is. He's like, no, don't put the box away. I want that box. Okay, so the other tweak phone. Let me set you up in the trifold here. Read the comments before we move on to more important matters. I'm just hanging out here. I'm going to head over to my buddy's place. Yeah. Okay. So let's do the next tweak. That's tweak number 1. City planners should all be fired and summarily executed. At least the ones in Winnipeg. They do not serve our interests. Possibly never have. I've always said about Winnipeg, like it has the potential to be a world-class city. Like it's right in the center of the continent. Ought to be a traffic hub, a transportation hub. But it's like you come here and you're 1948. Like it's just no innovation, no advancements. It's all just, this is the way we've always done it. Seems to be the attitude. Like we've never tried that before. Yeah, but millions of cities across the world have. Some of them are in third world countries and they got better road infrastructure than we do here. I've said too, if you live in Winnipeg and you wonder how much your government hates you, just go for a drive on the roads. It'll tell you in pretty short order how much you're hated. What they really think of you. Just having been on the roads out west, they're much better in the cities and on the highways. Like, it is so, I'm so glad to be getting away from here. Like, you guys don't know, I can't even express just the joy in my soul right now. It's like the traffic from that Costco is going to be insane. Looks like it just opened. So, I mean, nothing against Costco. Shout out to Costco. But shout down to our city planners. Nasty. Nasty. So, whoever is in need, we got a process started here. So I was still in Alberta yesterday. Gave a buddy of mine a shout that, yeah, I'll be back in town Sunday. He's like, do me a favor. I'm like, what's that? Can you pick up some Jack Daniels for me? Because here in Manitoba, the entire government has this Trump derangement syndrome where they don't even want to stock American products on our shelves in the liquor store. It's gone to the point, this was in the news several months ago. The liquor stores here in Manitoba, the liquor stores are all controlled by the province. There's only one liquor store for spirits and hard alcohol. There's beer stores everywhere, like every hotel has a beer vendor, but you have to go to the liquor mart, or the LC, we used to call it, the Liquor Commission. And it's like government-run liquor dispensaries. And the Manitoba government decided, we are not participating in the sale of American bourbon, etc., tariff for tariff. And so they had cases and probably pallets, probably truckloads of bourbon and this kind of stuff. And they refused to sell it. So what did you do with it? Like, you're just gonna not sell it? Like, it's already been paid for. They've already paid for it. They just have to recoup their investment. And they refuse to do that as if that's going to hurt Donald Trump or benefit our ability to make trade negotiations or something like it. Just somebody please explain to me the mentality. We've already purchased the goods. Now we're just going to refuse to sell them, and then we're going to hurt the people that sold. That's going to harm the people that sold it to us. So my buddy says, when you're in Saskatchewan, can you pick up a bottle of Jack Daniels? Because they don't sell it here. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not a big fan of drinking or drunkenness, but it's like, yeah, for this cause, as a statement of solidarity, I will gladly pick you up. So in Alberta, they still they haven't completely lost their minds. So they still carry Jim Beam and Southern Comfort and Jack Daniels and all those fine beverages. So that really all it is potato juice. I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure all whiskey, all bourbon, all rye whiskey. They make the alcohol out of potatoes and they just flavor it with their corn mash. So you're getting corn flavored potato juice. That's my understanding. I think all Canadian whiskeys are made with alcohol produced from potatoes, and they just put their special seasonings in there to make you think that you're getting your grain alcohol or your rye whiskey or what have you. So just to work the wise, you're being scammed at every turn. That should be the entire theme of this channel. It's like you have been scammed and you're currently being scammed. So let's catch up. So that was tweak number 2, or rant number 2. So the alcohol induced, or the Trump derangement syndrome induced alcohol prohibition that hurts us more than it hurts Trump or American bourbon producers. So isn't that great? So the cold, it only looks cold. How do they say? It's a dry cold. So I don't know what the actual temperature. I don't have coffee. I got a Dr. Pepper here. I'm a little coffeeed out, and well, my buddy's place will be guzzling coffee. Well, he might be guzzling Jack Daniels. During the Prohibition, England would move great amounts of liquor to the middle of the Great Lakes. For joking, these guys. Yeah. And then Al Capone probably funneled some of it up to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. So whatever. His daughter married into Brit. Yes. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the whole Kennedy family, all the lore, but it is quite a rich tweak, if you will. But yeah, I'm gonna, while we're in real life, live as we're speaking, I'm gonna upload this short that I shot on this camera with minimal commentary. It won't get many views because of the strong language, I'm sure. But we'll give this a try. We're gonna call this wasting taxpayers' money as efficiently as possible, or something. Let's say, oh no, I gotta go to studio. Can't do it from YouTube. I gotta go to YouTube Studio. So yeah, it's a 1 minute short. There we go. Wasting taxpayers' monies as efficiently as possible. And see what kind of thumbnail I do. So they've been working on this. Upload failed. Oh, no, that's a different one. For some reason I had a short from way back when I was staying in the A-frame, and it never uploaded. I thought it uploaded. So anyways, I'm driving past this weigh scale. It's down to 1 lane of traffic, so it goes from 65 miles an hour down to 30 miles an hour through this traffic zone. And they've been working on this forever. And it's like, and the last time I drove through there, I was looking at how they had the lanes for when you're in a truck and they approach the traffic, and you'll see in the short, if you go and check it out, they have these super skinny lanes. And for those long, and it's like you pull off the highway, the way scale is set up in the middle of the median there. So it's a big wide median. There's the scale shack in the middle, and there's a scale on either side for the eastbound traffic and the westbound traffic. And both directions, I could see like the maneuver you have to make to pull off the highway and then aim your rig onto the scale. It's like your typical truck, I think, is about 100 inches in width, as your kind of legal size. Just over 8 feet. I still got some egg yolk in my beard from breakfast here. And they made this winding little chute that's just barely, it's got to be 9 feet, maybe 9.5. It looks like it's under 10 feet. If I had to get, maybe I'll go and grab a tape measure and measure it, but still, that thing should be 14 feet, 16 feet wide. I mean, they're pulling these long combination, like a double 53-foot trailer, and you got to somehow wiggle in to this tiny chute and make this sharp turn and be straight on the scale with all your axles. Like that's just cruelty to animals at this point. And again, a lot of guys, so your last fuel stop before Winnipeg is 2 hours away. Not your very last, but your last decent one is in Brandon, Manitoba, which is a 2-hour drive from here. So coming in bleary-eyed in the middle of the night, the scale is open 24/7. Like, they never shut down. And so that tells you, like, they're just revenue collectors. It's not about safety or the motoring traffic or making sure that bad drivers get off the road. They're punishing all drivers. And this is what I mean by a combination vehicle. So one of these dudes. So he's got double trailers. Transex. Back in the day, back in the late 90s, their nickname was transsexual. Now you can't even say that. But yeah, Transex is a big company, and they do these combination units. So double 40s or double 53s, and or 48s. And so you got to somehow aim that rig onto the scale, and they make it's like a video skills competition just to get onto the scale now, which they're still building. Like, who knows? Maybe it'll be done by next summer. And then they peel down one lane of traffic. Like, this is a busy highway, as you can see. This is the main artery into Winnipeg. There's no bypass. Like, you can't avoid the scale. You can't avoid this stretch of road to get in or around Winnipeg. The bypass is behind us. So it's like, let's just create some congestion because we can. And as you'll see on the short, like, this one lane is pyloned off. They've got it blocked for no apparent reason. Like, they're not working anywhere near there. All the work is being done in the median, but they just closed off traffic and dropped the speed limit, from 60. I mean, you could drop it to 50 or 40, but all the way down to 30 mile an hour, and unnecessarily adding congestion. Like, it just, who's in charge? Like, who's the dummy that I need to write to yell at? Here's another rig coming in. The big old doubles. Let's see here, it's coming in. Yeah, Arnold Brothers. What they do is they meet on the highway, and someone will drag a set of doubles from out west and meet up with somebody pulling a set of doubles from out east. Then they'll switch, turn around, and go back where they came from. They'll just find a nice wide part in the highway, meet up and switch trailers, and then go back in the direction they came from. And those guys are probably working by the hour. They get a 10-hour or 13-hour shift in, maybe 15 hours, and they just back and forth, you know, do a 300-mile run in one direction, turn around, come the other 300 miles back. There's another one right behind him, bison. So it's part of the logistics of just-in-time delivery. So but getting back to that weigh scale, it's like they want to check your logbooks, they want to check your axle weights, and it's sort of okay. Axle overloads can be a thing. It's wear and tear on your equipment, somewhat wear and tear on the road, but they don't know how to make roads here. I mean, that new stretch of road is going to be rebuilt 2 summers from now, because it won't get built properly to start with. And yeah, by then maybe most of my tax dollars won't be going towards idiotic projects like that, like resurfacing roads that should have been built properly in the first place. But a lot of truck traffic, a lot of traffic in general today. Today's Sunday. There was a lot of people on the road, a lot of tweakers on the road. I was doing a fair amount of festering. I was also festering online a little bit. Friends in Code was doing a novel thing with a UK Voodoo Piggy auction. So I put in a bid. So if you're in need of a UK Voodoo Piggy, I forget it was number 23 or number 25. Doesn't really matter. I don't really need a Voodoo Piggy, but I figured I'll put some. I'll get the ball rolling with a bid. So somebody please outbid me. It's not that I can't afford it. It's just I don't know what I'm gonna do with a UK Voodoo Piggy. But I'll take it. I'm sure we'll find some use for it somewhere. But Friends in Code, check out Friends in Code. The auction is ongoing online. If you're hot and in the market for a UK Voodoo Piggy with a noose, you need to check that out right now. Go now. Stop watching this and go bid Friends in Code, or maybe just open up another tab and go see what's going on there. Let's open up another tab. Let's open up another phone here. So where is Friends in Code? I think I'm subscribed. Well, let's just search. I don't know how to use YouTube on my phones. It's much easier on the desktop. So here we go. Piggy. Oh. So he did a 2.5-hour live stream full of AI music, which some people really get off on that. Let's see here. There you go. There's the details. Comes with an extra rain slicker, I believe. So it's a Christmas fun drive, I guess. Raising a few bucks for whatever Friends in Code project are needing some funding now. So UK Piggy number 23 up for grabs. So put in your winning bids. Email Friends in Code at I think it's Pete. Here's the email. He'll be live streaming up until 8 p.m. tonight. So shout out to Friends and Code. There's the email. Friends and Code at pm.me. So interesting. I like that. That's innovative to use social media to market stuff. I need to do more of that. Once I figure out stuff I can market. Mostly, I don't know that there's a lot of market for just being a general pest. That seems to be my gifting. But if you have tangible things to sell, I mean, whether it's Facebook Marketplace or directly, I was toying with the idea of selling my house. If I had more time, I would have tried to sell it on YouTube. Just find and reach buyers on YouTube. I think that would be a really cool way to avoid having to get a realtor. Because, I mean, you just walk around with a video camera, a phone, shoot your property. I mean, people can comment and say, hey, I'm looking for bedrooms of this specific size, or do you have a well, or do you have this? And you could just do a video. It's like, here's the well, here's the water system, here's the septic system. You know, you could cater to exactly what people are looking for, answer their questions directly, take offers, you know, peer to peer. And I think that's the next innovation in home sales. Just sell your property on YouTube. Sell everything on YouTube. YouTube is so handy. That's pretty funny. I forget if I told you guys in Stream, but once I get back to Kamloops, I basically have a job if I want it. I don't really want a job, but I figured, you know what? I was taking Max out for a walk, stuck my head in, well, not my head, I put my whole body inside the doorway of this small engine and equipment repair shop. Said, hey, you guys looking for service techs? And so they were kind of warm to the idea. They wanted to talk to me when I got back. I said, I'm not really available at the moment, but I'm just putting feelers out, see what the job market is like. No, you don't need a realtor's license. Why would you need a realtor's license? You can do private sales all the time. I mean, it's a matter of the real estate lawyers finalizing the deal, but if you have a property and it's yours legally to sell, the reason people get agents is because they don't know how to go about marketing their homes. I've seen lots of signs pop up back home in Grunthal, for sale by owner, and that sign sits up there until it gets replaced by an agent sign with a realty company, because people just can't get their property in front of that many eyeballs. But if I were to do this, I would title it, house for sale near Grunthal, Manitoba, because people watch YouTube. Eventually the algorithm's going to pick that up, stick it in front of somebody's face. It's like, oh, I'm not looking for a house out there, but I know somebody who is looking for a rural property. I'll send them the link, and then you can get a viral video. Even if you get 10 views, that's 10 people interested in your house. If you put your listing with an agent and it goes on realty.com or realtor.com or whatever websites they market on, I mean, you might get clicks, but you don't know how many people are actually viewing your listing. They might just check the price, check the thumbnail, and that's it. But if you got people actually watching your video and they're interested, like they'll put a comment. You could do a live stream. It's like, we're gonna do a live stream walkthrough. You could do it on Facebook Live. The possibilities are limitless. So, like I said, if I had all the time in the world, I think I would have tried to explore that route. And even if it, and by all the time, like if I didn't care if it sold in a year or 2 years or 3 years, you know, as an experiment to see how well that ashes everywhere, how that could potentially work as a means of marketing real estate specifically. But yeah, that's the TweekRant for today. Weigh scales, yeah, let's go back to the weigh scale. So yeah, they want to check your hours of service, and for those of you who may or may not be familiar, truck drivers, they have to keep a log of every minute they spend behind the wheel or on duty, and all their break times, your fueling. When you stop for fuel, that's considered on duty, but not driving. And so that all counts because you're limited to how long you can work during a 24-hour day, usually from midnight to midnight. And now they're moving to electronic logs where a computer, an onboard computer, records when the truck is in motion, and you have to poke in, okay, well, the truck is running, but I'm not driving, I'm just sitting, I'm in the bunk, or I'm off duty, or I'm fueling, or this or that. Like, it's very, very sophisticated means of control now. But the hours of service rules, they go back to a sleep study. From what research I've done, a single sleep study that was done back in the 1950s. And that back then they determined, 10 hours is the maximum you could drive, or it might have been 8 hours back then. But when I got my license, if you were driving in the States, you could drive for a maximum of 10 hours behind the wheel, and then an additional hour or two, or maybe it was, I forget, the maximum length of your shift on duty or driving was 13 hours maximum, and then they've changed it over the years. Now I think it's 12 hours. In Canada, it was 13 hours driving and 15 hours on duty total. And the last time I was driving, you had to do that within a certain time frame. Like you couldn't have breaks in between. Like drive for 6 hours, take a 3-hour break, be on duty for an hour loading or unloading, and then drive for another 6 hours and take a 4. Like you had to have it all done within X amount of hours. And then you'd have to take a mandatory 8-hour off duty in the bunk before you could start your next shift. And that's not how humans work. Like, some people have stamina. They can drive for longer without getting tired. There's people that can't drive that long. And really, it ought to be up to trucking companies that enforce those hours of service rules. That would totally negate the DOT. So it'd put a lot of people out of work. But I could revolutionize the trucking industry and make it a lot safer if we put the onus on trucking companies to enforce those rules that are supposed to promote driver safety. Because you'd basically get one strike and you're out. So if you had a driver, for instance, that consistently drove 20 hours in a day, but he had a perfect driving record and had no accidents, no on-duty mishaps, perfect safety record, well, he's a safe driver. Let him drive his 20 hours a day if that's what he wants to do. But the second you get into an accident, you would have to discipline that driver, and it's basically one strike, you're out, and for the driver. So then you would have to abide by whatever company policy. And if you don't like it, go to the next company. Now, if you were a driver and you were in violation and you got in a major wreck, and the company was aware that you had a troubled driver, then the DOT ought to be able to come and shut your company down, saying you need to enforce safe driving practices amongst your drivers. Likewise, if you had a driver that could only drive 6 hours a day, but he was getting into accidents every other week, again, you've got an unsafe driver, we're shutting you down, we're taking away your running rights. You can't operate in this jurisdiction unless you can demonstrate for 6 months, a year, that your drivers are safe. So people that ought not to be in the industry would have nothing to do with this, and people that are good at the skill of driving a truck would get rewarded. You get bonuses. So that's the way to revolutionize the highway safety, in that people that have no business being behind the wheel there's a big disincentive, because along with whatever penalties the DOT could levy against the driver or the trucking company would be able to punish their drivers. And that's where the innovation takes place. But now there's just DOT pulls you over, they want to see your driving log or your driving computer, and it's irrelevant how long you've driven or how long you ought to be driving for, or whether you're out of service because you're past your hours. If you're safe to drive, you're safe to drive. That's just the way it is. If you're unsafe to drive, well, we're going to find out in a hurry. And when you are deemed unsafe, we're going to make sure you don't get behind the wheel again. That's why I say it's one strike, you're out. That would clean up the entire trucking industry. You wouldn't be able to, remember years ago, this was a big deal up in Canada, that big crash that was in Saskatchewan there, I can't even remember the name. People are going to hate on me. Can't fake the books anymore. I know. Back then, I was told it's a scam, and here's how to scam the scammers. So I'm old school, but yeah, you can't even out-scam the scam now. It's too high tech. The Mustangs was the team, and so this newcomer driver, I won't say what country he came from, but he was new to Canada. They basically trained him for a week, gave him a set of keys to a set of Super Bs, which is a semi-truck, a tractor with 2 trailers behind it. Not the big combo units, but I think the gross vehicle weight on that thing is something like 130,000 pounds. And said, here you go. You went through your driver's school. You've been trained with us for a week. Go hit the highway. And he killed a busload and seriously injured this hockey team, the Humboldt Mustangs, I think. Or it happened in Humboldt, kind of doesn't matter, but it was like front page news for several years here. In that, it's a tragedy. Everybody was weighing their opinions, and I'm like, yeah, what you people are missing though, and people are coming against the trucking industry, we need to clean this up. The thing is, the guy who did the damage, he wasn't a truck driver. He was a trainee. He had no business being behind the wheel of that truck. And what happened is he pulled out from a stop sign, or didn't stop at a stop sign on a highway, an intersection on a desolate stretch of highway. So he shouldn't have been pulling out when he did, and he collided with this team bus full of these young high school hockey players. They had their whole lives and or careers and coaches, and I don't know if there were what other personnel was on the bus. Like, people were killed, people were seriously injured. Tragedy, like absolute tragedy. And people were coming down on the driver. So blah blah blah. Well, it wasn't his fault. He put yourself in his situation. He comes in the country, connects with people he knows, They say, guess what? We're going to put you to work driving truck. All right, let's do it. I drove some truck back home. Well, back home is not the same as here. Maybe different rules of the road, different practices, different vehicle configurations, but in any case, he was given responsibility to operate a vehicle that he had no business being in control of. And inevitably, shit like this is going to happen, and it happened. Again, my condolences to the families and all those that lost lives and lost loved ones. Like, it's horrible, absolutely horrible. Like, no excuse for it. But the responsibility, in my opinion, falls on that trucking company that handed him the keys and said, go make a delivery for us. Like, here you go. Here you go, son. We've trained you for a week. We've taught you everything we know. Because what ended up happening with that company, they were in court too. The young gentleman who caused the tragedy, or who was involved in the tragedy, he was deported, found guilty in a Canadian court, and then deported back to his country of origin. Very sorrowful, very, it must have traumatized him. Like, I feel for that guy. But the trucking company, they shut down their operation and started up under a new name the following week. There was virtually no repercussions for them. As I don't know what they're operating under now. I don't know the name of the company. I'd have to look up, what they were operating as when the tragedy occurred. But it's that simple. You start up a new company, start a new safety rating. There's a whole safety rating system for carriers up here in Canada, just as it is in the States. And basically start off fresh. So no criminal charges against the owners or management of that company. Like, that's the crime. That's the scam. So there's things going on. There's blind eyes being purposefully turned away, where the responsibility ought to have fallen squarely on the shoulders of the prosecutors. Should have went after the company, but the company was able to essentially get away scot-free, and they threw their poor driver under the bus, literally. I'm not trying to make a joke, but because it was a bus involved in the incident. East Carbon, welcome in. Good to see you. We'll have a smoke and then sip of Dr. Pepper, and I think we'll wrap up this rant. But is there anybody in political power that has any common sense? Please step to the front of the line. I want to talk with you. Well, nobody's coming forward. You don't say. Imagine my shock. Am I sounding a little overly cynical? Well, it's like, we can clean this up if there's a will to, but there's no political will to want to clean this up. So yeah, I saw a good Larkin Rose video this morning. If you want to check that one out, being nice is a bad idea or something like that, go check that one out. That's a really good one. Sometimes Larkin shoots a video on something I'm thinking of in my own, processing on my own, and it's like he's got a gift for communicating some of these ideas, which come down to philosophy and ideology sometime, but it's sort of breaking the programming of, like, this is the way it needs to be. It's like, no, it doesn't. It's just you've never chosen to step outside the little box of your thinking. I'm not saying you guys, but people in general have just been programmed to obey authority, or the cops are there to serve and protect. And it's like, nope, 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 nope. Basically armed thugs trying to shake you down for tax money because you don't have a sticker on your conveyance. or you have the wrong sticker on your conveyance, or the sticker fell off, or the sticker's there, but the system doesn't understand that something happened on their end, and so you did everything right, but you still get punished because you got the right sticker in the right spot, you've got all your paperwork, but their file shows that armed thugs need to stop you, threaten you, through no fault of your own, just because they can. So, there's no will to change that either. So that's going to continue. That's not going to stop anytime soon, that I can discern, unfortunately. But yeah, I know some of you folks are of the like mind. Guantanamo, I wouldn't even arrest him. I would do something else. And Larkin makes a suggestion, and I totally agree with him. So shout out to Larkin Rose. Check out his latest. I think it was just posted today. So if you're not subscribed to Larkin, I would highly recommend. Shout out to Larkin. He's in Phoenix, Arizona currently. Making more content about those who serve and protect, and those who are bosses of those that they hire to serve and protect. It's basically just revealing the scam for what it is. Max says, I've been scammed. There were treats. I saw the bag of treats. What happened to the treats? Scammer. Max got scammed. He's not happy. Not happy at all. There was a happy dog in the thumbnail. Now there's an unhappy dog saying, when are we going to re-examine that white bag you had? Soon enough. Soon enough. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. You don't look like you actually need any treats, that big pot belly of yours. Someone commented the other day, he looks like a great big sausage. It's like, yeah. Yeah, that's part of the lab genetics. They're very food. No control when it comes to food. So I have to be his control. So he does get the odd treat, but it's got to be within limits. Because living on the farm, he would just help himself to whatever. He would eat everything. Chicken poop, animal feed. Like he would sneak into the chicken coop and gobble up chicken feed. I could see in his poops like all these pieces of corn and grains and hog feed. If we did a slaughter, like he would run away with the bits and pieces that get cut away and bury them. And so he had these little stashes of food, bones. We'd give him bones. So even if he wasn't getting fed at feeding time, he always had cache. He was like a squirrel. He had caches of food. So there was no way to limit his calorie intake in any way. And then Rufus, the other dog, like sometimes at feeding time, he was like, I'm not even hungry. So I'm good, Daddy. Which is completely different mentality than old Maxie here. He's always down to eat. He's always down for treats, snacks, full course meals, buffets, whole pig roasts, Texas barbecue. You don't have to tell him twice. But yeah, Guantanamo Bay that's government run, so I wouldn't trust that as a tool to extract justice either. So it's a bit of a scam as well. there's more efficient ways of dealing with perpetrators. If the farm animals would vote in a better Farmer Brown, they would live in a utopian republic where there weren't any slaughterhouses and a sterile, clean environment. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. It raises a interesting philosophical question. How self-aware are animals? Once they've got their basic needs met, they're pretty content. And, everybody dies, everything dies. It's just kind of a law of the universe. And in death, there's also life. That death feeds the life that comes after it. So, yeah, maybe I think there's a danger of anthropomorphizing animals that they think similar to the way we do as far as things they value. I think food, shelter, water, warmth, some degree of comfort. I'm totally for raising animals in the most humane way possible that honors the animal and honors what you're requiring of them, which is to feed you. But yeah, they might politicize. They might emerge a class system like an Animal Farm, but I guess more research would have to be done if they have that capacity to do that. I doubt it. They're pretty much, I just want what's coming to me. I don't care about my neighbor, my buddy, or my brother, or my sister. I just want what's mine. I just want get what's coming to me. And if in the end, what's coming to you is a bullet between the eyes, well, we gave you everything you wanted, and this was part of the bargain, I guess. Maybe they wouldn't sign up for it if they knew. But the sheeple have their wool pulled over their eyes in perpetual bliss. Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. If that's the way you want to live, fine. But you can't make the rest of us who don't want to live like that involuntarily participate in your system, which requires force to us to participate. Say, well, the whole system is voluntary. Well, no, it's not, because the second we stop voluntarily participating, people with guns show up to make you participate. So that's hardly voluntary, unless you have a different definition of voluntary than I do. Yeah, I'm volunteering against my consent to do this action, which I don't want to do at the threat of violence, looking down the barrel of a gun. That's not voluntary. That's so the sheeple, if they want to voluntarily contribute to that, fine. But that's not everybody. That's something different. That's something that resembles a scam. If you want to get scammed, just don't let me get in your way. In fact, you could take my place in line. I'm dipping out. I'm not interested in the scam. So the final takeaway is that whole way station, the traffic congestion, the bullshit lanes they're putting in, it's a scam. So there's better ways. There's better ways of doing things than the old ways. So, I hope I'm being honest. I'm not trying to scam you. This is just the way I sees it after 54 years and 14 days on this planet. There's no. I'll let you know when I'm scamming you. Unlike others, I have a hard time. I would have a hard time sleeping at night, knowing I was part of scamming you against your knowledge. I want you to know exactly when you're experiencing a Shimco scam. Or at least I'll be able to sleep. So. Ooh, lot lizards. Oh no, it's just a couple of boomers and a CRV. Thought we had some lot lizards here. No lot lizards, no hitchhikers. Max is patiently waiting for treats. So there we have it. I think we'll wind this down. See if that short uploaded. And yeah, the traffic in both directions disrupted for the sake of safety. No, for the sake of revenue. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. Wasting taxpayers' monies as efficiently as possible. Visibility. Ooh, set as instant premiere. That's a new option. So let's upload that. You guys decide. Yeah, she's up. Wasting taxpayers' monies as efficiently as possible. Instant premiere. Premieres now. And so, yeah, go check that out. Make lots of bids on the UK's Voodoo Piggy, if you're so inclined. If you're not inclined, then go check out the auction action. For me, auction is like dog whistle. I can't resist. I get this physiological response where I gotta click on it. I need to see what's going on. So if you want to get my attention, just put the word auction beside whatever, and I'll read your comment first, or I'll read whatever it is. That's how to get my attention. Just put auction beside it. I'm down. Right, Max? Should we auction off these treats? I see there's a puppy over there in that other car. You want to share your treats with that other puppy? Oh, the look on his face right now. And now I'm talking like blasphemy. Got another video discussion. I got kind of processing my thoughts, but I got some interesting stuff to say about a completely different topic. It's not so much a rant, just observation. But yeah, this grinds my gears. This churns my cheese. When there's no turning lane to get in the truck stop, and you're just holding up traffic for no dang good reason. Waiting to get into Costco. Like, there's no turning lane to get into Costco either. Silliness. Absolute silliness. All dyed in the wool scribers. Get those piggies at auction. Yes, auction time closes at 8 p.m. I have no idea what that's Central Time, Pacific Time, Eastern Time. I don't know where Friends and Code is. Where's Friends and Code? You in California? I really don't know. I'm sure I should know, but I don't know what time he operates on. But he'll be live streaming the auction up until 8 p.m. at some point. So I think the last live stream he did looked like it was 2.5 hours long. Cut it off, but The bidding continues until 8 p.m. at some time zone on the North American continent. I'm relatively sure he's in North America. That I can confidently say. He's somewhere between on the lower continental United States. Not in Alaska, not Hawaii, not in Puerto Rico. He's going to be somewhere in the lower 48. So whatever time zones that are covered by that that land mass. That's enough tweaking. I'm gonna go use the bathroom again, then treat time, and then go do some visiting. So we'll do another live stream either later today or possibly tomorrow. I got stuff to do, so I'm gonna get about doing it, and we'll take you along for the journey as it makes sense. So thanks for coming, thanks for leaving, stay tweaky.